It's impossible to seek techniques for being captivating and improving relationships without heeding the advice of great individuals, those who knew how to behave in every situation and carefully calculated each of their actions. In this regard, politicians are among the most skilled. They must constantly be mindful of what they say, how they say it, their tone, and even their body language. One of the most prominent and renowned figures who excelled in this area is Winston Churchill. His words and phrases resonated so deeply with people that he became one of the most influential figures of the 20th century. Most people know Winston Churchill for his cleverness and shrewdness, believing there is much to learn from him. Let's explore Churchill's advice to understand what a smart person avoids and distances themselves from. Number 1. Don't arbitrate between two people in conflict. Let's start with the simplest scenario. You've probably found yourself in a situation where two people are arguing and both want you to mediate. Often, this doesn't end well. Why? When a relationship between two people deteriorates to the point where they bring their issues to others, your judgment won't fix anything. It will only damage your credibility. Moreover, if these individuals become accustomed to seeking help from you or others in tough situations, they gradually lose their ability to make decisions, and their minds become conditioned. If you don't say no, they'll assume they can always come to you and won't bother to think through their own problems. What happens to you in this situation? A lot of trouble, judgments you're unsure about, and if you ultimately side with one person, your credibility with the other is ruined. Despite his exceptional ability to maintain relationships and knowing how to behave in any situation, Winston Churchill believed that one should not entangle themselves in such circumstances. To quickly extricate yourself, he suggested saying, "Perhaps you are right," and leaving it at that. This way, the other person understands you're not interested in meddling and will leave you alone. Number 2, if someone makes excuses, don't push them. There's an unpopular theory that says if someone repeatedly makes excuses for not doing something, they never wanted to do it in the first place. In all relationships, respect and credibility come first. By insisting on something the other person has repeatedly postponed, you only diminish yourself. Henry Ford said, "No one in this world has ever done more than what they thought they could." If we look at this statement from a specific angle, we realize that when people constantly make excuses, they're not preparing themselves to do the task. Experience has shown that until we want to do something ourselves, no one can convince us. As Lao Tzu said, saying you don't have time is like saying you don't want to, because time is a human construct. So it's better to identify the root of this behavior early and not waste our time and energy on people unwilling to change. If you plant a seed in unsuitable soil and, despite extensive care, it yields no fruit, the problem isn't the soil, it's you for investing in the wrong place. If you make a request and notice the other person making excuses, don't insist further, as they're clearly unwilling to do it. Number 3, don't prevent younger people from making mistakes. Many older individuals feel it's their duty to advise younger ones, sharing their life experiences to help them avoid pitfalls. However, excessive advice eventually makes the listener indifferent. People who live near the ocean stop hearing the waves after a while, and those living near train tracks no longer notice the ground shaking when a train passes. Similarly, if people hear too much advice, they become indifferent to it. This is why the wise say, "Speak little and choose your words carefully, so that even a little fills the world." Let people see and experience things for themselves. Failure is part of life's process, and if you see someone failing repeatedly but not giving up, take pride in them instead of criticizing them. Winston Churchill believed that success is the result of repeated failures without losing the enthusiasm to continue. Humans don't need advice to understand the world. They need to see its realities to find their place in it. Smart people understand this well and allow younger individuals to stumble so they can grow. Of course, smart people also know that some mistakes can be avoided by learning from others' experiences. Number 4, don't insist on uncovering what others are trying to hide. A sign of intelligence is being considerate in interactions, noticing what the other person is comfortable with and what makes them uneasy. Some people have no issue sharing their life secrets, and we're not here to judge whether that's good or bad. However, how we respond to others' boundaries is crucial. Great minds like Albert Einstein pointed out important things not to share with others. Personal matters, ongoing projects, ideas, past mistakes, regrets, and income. But it's not enough to avoid sharing these things ourselves. Many people are careful about this, but then pressure others with intrusive questions. The key is to not only avoid sharing these things, but also to refrain from prying into others' private matters or offering unsolicited advice. This behavior severely damages our character in social relationships. After one or two instances of prying, people will go out of their way to avoid us so they don't have to answer our inappropriate questions. Number 5. Don't interfere in matters you don't fully understand. Only mature and wise individuals realize that speaking isn't always beneficial. These people don't feel the need to entertain others with their words. They prefer to listen. As Plato said, wise men speak because they have something to say. Fools speak because they have to say something. The tongue commits few crimes, but its rebellion is vast. You might think someone is foolish, but that same person may have extensive experience and knowledge in certain areas. This is where Winston Churchill offers one of his most insightful pieces of advice. The greatest lesson in life is to know that even fools are right sometimes. By interfering in matters you don't fully understand, you signal to others that your words shouldn't be taken seriously. In contrast, great and charismatic individuals consider their words their signature and prefer to either remain silent or speak in a way that resolves others' issues. If we meddle in others' lives without cause, we're unlikely to receive a positive reaction.